Hello, grade 8s. This is lesson 2 on square roots. Make sure you watch lesson 1 before you watch this one. Here's the square root number line that kind of reviews everything we've learned so far. So the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5, square root 36 is 6, square root of 49 is 7, square root 64 is 8, square root 81 is 9, square root 100 is 10, 121 is 11, square root 144 is 12, square root 169 is 13, square root 196 is 14, and finally square root of 225 is 15. And if you haven't noticed, if you take this bottom number and you square it or times it by itself, you'll get the number up here. So 1 times itself is that. 2 times itself is that. 6 times itself is that. So that's what square root is. It's the opposite of squaring, okay? You must remember or memorize all of these by heart before we even get going any further, okay? Now this line will help us to estimate square roots that are not whole numbers. In other words, whatever's in between these are going to be non-perfect, not whole numbers. So we're going to show you how to do that, okay? So for example, I'm going to actually have this out as well. I'm going to have both of these out here. So if I was to look at, this is one of the charts that we had, and I'll do a couple with you, and then I'm going to ask you to just to pause the video and finish it yourself and see how you did. So for example, I want to know what is the square root of 8. Okay, and this is the chart that I'm going to kind of follow. So I want to know what it's between, what it's closer to, give you an estimate, and then give you the actual. Okay, so first of all, the square root of 8. So I'm looking for like, what is the square root of 8? So I go to my number line, which is right here, and I look at where it might fall. So square root of 8 is between the square root of 4 and square root of 9. So it's kind of in here, right? If I had to kind of pinpoint, like I know, like from here to here, like actually square root of 8 is much closer to the square root of 9. Because from 8 to 4, it's about 4 away from this one, but yet it's only 1 away from the 9. So it's very close to 3. So in other words, it's between 2 and 3, but it's closer to 3. So if I had to take a guess, it kind of would be 2 point something high, like 2.9. So if I had to fill out my chart here, so it's between the square root of 4, which equals to 2, the square root of 9, which equals to 3, but it's closer to the square root of 9, which is 3. So I estimate 2.9. And I wonder what the actual is. So you get on a calculator and you actually type in the square root of 8. And so there's a little symbol on your calculator. You have to kind of activate that symbol and then press the number 8. And then you might have to, in some cases, press the equal sign on your calculator until you get the actual, which is 2.83. So my guess wasn't too bad. I asked students to think of this as money. If my estimate was 2.9, or if I add a 0, it's $2.90. The actual is $2.83. So I want to be at least 10 cents off. That to me is a good guess. So 2.83, I am 7 cents off. So that's a good guess, and that's what I want you to kind of strive for. Okay, so let's take another one. Let's try the square root of 42. Okay, so I want to know what is the square root of 42. So I go on to my number line. Square root 42, where is it? Well, it's in here. So square root of 42 falls in here somewhere. Where is it closer to? Well, I know from here to here, it is about 6 away from there. But from here, it's about 7 away from 49. So this one is very, very close to the middle, but since it's only 6 away from 36, that means it's closer to the square root of 36. In other words, that means it is closer to 6 than it is to 7. It's probably like in here somewhere, right? Kind of have to take a little bit of a guess. So going on to here, I know it is between the square root of 36, which is 6, and the square root of 49, which is 7. But we said it's a little bit closer to the square root of 36, which is 6. Which means if I had to estimate, I would estimate maybe 6.43. So $6.43 is my estimate. Go on my calculator and I'm going to figure out the exact square root of 42, and it looks like it's exactly 6.48. So that is a good guess. I'm 5 cents off. Again, you want to be at least 10 cents off. And this is why we use our square root number line. It's just to kind of estimate all the square roots that are in between. So what I'd like you to do is go back to this, and I want you just to pause the video and see if you can figure out all those other square roots here and kind of do your estimate and complete it and figure out the actual and see if you can be within 10 cents off. Okay, so pause your video now and let's see how you did. Well, if you see how well you did, here's my estimates, and hopefully I should be within 10 cents off. After all, I am the teacher, so I should know what I'm doing. And here's, you can see how I estimated and how I completed my table. So I hope that this little lesson helps you to understand how you estimate square roots by using the square root number line. All right, take care. Hope that helps, guys.